Matthew Cipriani, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me, Nick.
No problem. All right, Matty. So I'm actually really excited for this because you're probably the second person that has actually come up with some sort of idea for the actual journal prompt. Basically, every single one I had to choose. So makes my life a little bit easier, especially that it's something that like you want to talk about.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's go over this journal prompt right now. The journal prompt for today is how and why should you explore past your comfort zone? One more time, how and why should you explore past your comfort zone? I'll give you guys a minute. Think about it if you'd like. If not, just skip ahead and hear our thoughts. Okay, Matthew Cipriani. So, first of all, I just want to say I apologize if I sound a little nasally, something like that. I have a cold for probably the past like 2 months at this point. I've had a stuffy nose for so long. It is very frustrating. I've been taking so much Mucinex, so much off-brand Mucinex actually, because why would I pay more?
That Target brand.
Yeah,
That Target brand.
yeah. Why would I pay more for the actual Mucinex?
Of
Maybe
course.
I would have the cold away, but whatever. Let's get to the actual question. So, wait, first before we even start answering this, why did this come up to your brain when I said, what would you want to do for this podcast?
Okay, so before when you messaged me to see what I would want to do, I looked up a bunch of different journal prompt ideas to think of what I should do, and I always thought like I used to be such a like shy and like
Like a mild
type of person,
Yeah.
and then now everyone's been telling me that I'm just like I'm outgoing, I'm like funny and all this other stuff, and I was just like, did I really grow that much that I'm not like the same that I used to be?
This is something that I noticed right away when you said something with your comfort zone. I was like, wow, this is very interesting because I feel like you were growing out of your comfort zone without even realizing it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, when we were younger, you definitely were a shy person. You definitely held back a little bit more, which is great to see that you're evolving into this person that you should be, and it takes time. Like,
yeah, it definitely does.
Mainly, a lot of people want to compare themselves to other people. But you really got to compare yourself to your actual self, your actual being, who you are, because you're the only person that you can compare to yourself, since you know how far have you come, how little you've come, and stuff like that. So it's awesome to see that you're growing, and not even just conversation-wise, just being, comfortable around other people, and then also, like, when you started going to St. John's, like, you were like, oh, I'm hanging out with my friends from St. John's, and we were like, Matty, let's go. Yeah. And it's dope to see.
Yeah, it's definitely been a different experience. When I was in high school, I really didn't have a group of where I was talking to people that were in my classes. I was always that kid that was in the corner, in like the corner of the room, just not talking to anyone, silent through most of the classes and stuff. So yeah, I don't know, it's crazy. It's wild.
It's cool, right? Like,
yeah, it's awesome.
So when you actually recognized this, obviously when you saw the journal prompt, it sparked something in your...
Yeah, definitely.
It's weird because you gravitated towards it, right? It's like you saw it and you're like, oh, hold up a second, let me look at this for.
It was like, oh wait, that's kind of hits. So
yeah. So did you realize in that moment, like, oh, how did I get to this point? How did I actually grow, or were you like, I guess I just flowed into it?
I think for me, I think it's definitely when I decided. I think the first time I started streaming is when I kind of started to grow out of it.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, I don't know who I'm talking to in like my chat or who I'm playing with, but it's like I'm like having a friend, like I'm being friends with them, and I don't even like know them in person. People all over the world, and I'm just like, wow, this shit's crazy. Like, I can't believe this.
Do you find it easier when people don't know who you are?
Yeah, definitely. 100%. I agree with that. Yeah.
Because you could reinvent yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of what I did at college. Like, when I went away to college, I started off just like, I'm not the best with conversations. It's pretty ironic because I have a podcast that's literally a conversation with two people.
Exactly.
But I was never a person who was outgoing, who was like, fuck it, like, let me just talk to this person. And I asked my sister this question the other day. I was like, yo, because she, you know her, she just talks to anybody.
Anyone, yeah.
I was like, do you actually think of what you say before you do it, or does it just come out of your mouth? And she's like, oh, it just comes out. And I realized my whole entire life, most of the time, it would just come out of my mouth. But there's a lot of times when I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone where I'm just thinking. And I'm like, what would I say in this situation?
What do I do?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I'm not used to this at all.
Yeah, so it's a very difficult thing to do. So in college, I went out and just started talking to people. And sometimes it sucked because I was still in a relationship at that point. So obviously talking to girls,
definitely was harder.
Yeah, it's harder because there are some times where you would want to say something, but you can't because you still have a girlfriend who lives 4 hours away. Very convenient life I lived in Albany.
No, definitely. But yeah, definitely, it's you just gotta. It's like you just throw yourself out there. You know what I'm saying? When you throw yourself out there, it makes it that much easier.
Yeah, it really does.
You have to like adapt to situations, and it helps you grow as a person.
Yeah, so what made you, because obviously before you did the podcast, you didn't have this like thinking, you didn't have this drive, but you did like the actual game that you played, Smash. And how did you even like come about like, all right, let's do it, and whoever watches. Like, how did you do that?
So one of my friends that I used to go to school with, his name was Fadi, and
Fadi.
Yeah, Fadi. Yeah. He was like, yo, you should stream. I would definitely I would watch you. Like, you're funny. Like, I think people would watch you. And I was just like, you know what? That's not like, I've been playing this game for that long. How long? So I was just like, you know what? Might as well get the capture card, get the what's it called? Get the
the computer and shit?
Yeah, the computer and the camera too. So I was like, you know what? I might as well just start doing that. And I just, as soon as I started, I just love doing it. It's fun. Yeah. It's like a hobby for me.
Yeah, that's kind of like the same thing I did with the podcast. Besides, nobody told me. I was just like, all right, I'm gonna tell myself this, and like I'm just gonna fucking do it.
You used to like watch all the you know what I'm saying? You used to watch the Rogue. Yeah, you watch the old podcast all the time. So
bro,
it's like
obsessed. Well, I literally started the first podcast because I was like, wow, this guy literally just talks to somebody for 3 hours, like, and he makes so much money. Like, even if I can make like $200 at some point in my life off of this podcast, like, that's a fucking bill right there. Like, I would do that an hour a week. And it's cool too because I've been very into human interaction lately. I've been very fascinated by it just because when I'm getting older, I'm experiencing more spiritual stuff like meditation and stuff like that. And there's
stretches too.
Stretches, yes. Which is basically yoga at that point. But there's these things called chakras. And in our body, we have like 7 chakras. I don't know much about it, but it's very powerful.
It's like the Naruto chakras.
Oh, you know about it?
Yeah, they. One of my favorite animes of all time, Naruto.
Yeah.
They have all different types of chakras, and like energies and stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, they have so much different type of energy, and they feel powerful from it.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, I was like, wow, like I can alter a way a person thinks about me and a whole conversation just because I have these chakras intact and nothing's off, and I know exactly how to speak and where to speak from. And I was like, wow, like if I can master this, my whole life will change.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely saw a difference when as soon as you started at DJ Got Me Fit. It definitely changed it.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. I went in with confidence, with fake confidence at that point. So there's a difference with confidence and fake confidence.
Yeah, but sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need that fake confidence.
Yeah, confidence is all right. Like, I know what I'm doing here right now, and then fake confidence is like, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing, but I'm gonna act like I do until something happens. And that's what I did at first. I acted like I knew everything. Well, fitness came easy to me. I mean, like both of us, we played sports our whole lives. Like, we worked out and shit. So like, it's not a hard thing to do to come up with exercises and like get in there and understand everything.
Yeah.
But when you go in there and you are half the age of everybody in there, it's a little nerve-wracking. You're like, wow, these people are fucking 40 years old. I'm 19. Like, it's hard to have a conversation at that point and just to have the confidence, even at first, to explain the exercises. You know, like, I knew exactly how to do them, but to explain it, my boss would always be like, yo, you gotta speak louder. The other kid who was helping me out, he's like, yo, you gotta speak louder. And then, you know, that was always replayed in my head. And then I spoke louder, and then they would say something else. And, like, I would just go in with it with just that fake confidence. And, you know, the fake confidence works. It's a very uncomfortable situation.
Yeah.
It's literally like our question, like, why you should explore your comfort zone. Comfort zone. So the reason why you should, like, in my opinion, is because you just grow naturally as a person. It's a very hard thing to do, though, because when you're in that situation, you're like, oh shit, like, am I doing this right? Am I doing it wrong? Are they judging
scared.
me right now?
Yeah, it's like you're scared. It's just like they're just gonna start judging you for all the stuff that you're doing, and
so much.
And it's just like, why should I care? Like, you know what I'm saying? Why should I care at that point? It's like, it's my life.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, you know what? Like, they know, but this is the difference because, you know, you're going to something where with streaming, no one cares. Like, you're not going to get shut down. For me, it was like, I'm trying out for a job. So it's very tough in that situation to be like, oh, I don't give a fuck what they think of me. Like, I'm like, I care a lot how they think of me.
Then you got no job.
Exactly, yeah. And I was like, yo, this job's going to be sick. Like, I'm so into this right now. I love exactly the type of way of working out because I did all those home videos. You remember that?
Oh, yeah,
like the Insanity and the P90X and shit like that. Like, I did all of those, and I was super consistent with it. And I learned so much just from listening to them and doing all those exercises and forming workouts after a while. So I was like, wow, I get to form workouts and I get to yell at people to motivate them. Like, this is dope.
Yeah, it's definitely it.
Awesome. It's cool. It's cool. So what do you think? Why do you think you should get out of your comfort zone after getting out of your comfort zone?
Okay, so definitely I would say most importantly to get out of your comfort zone because it just the way your life changes afterwards after you see it is just like it's life changing. It's like life changing.
You think after you get out of your comfort zone, other things come naturally?
Yeah, everything becomes easier.
Yeah,
I feel like
not
everything, not every single thing, but definitely interacting with people. Like if you're working, you got meetings and stuff, or you got to do presentations for school, or just talking to people naturally. It just becomes a lot easier.
Yeah, it's weird, but we kind of had the same problem.
Yeah,
we were both quiet.
Yeah, exactly.
So for both of us to get to the situation where we both struggled with conversation, yet also needed to conversate with people. I mean, you're doing it. Yours was a little bit easier because you're behind a screen and people are messaging you.
Yeah.
So like like your transition was a little bit easier in that sense, but it's still really hard because that person who asks you a question, they see you. So
Yeah.
they see you staring at the question, and then you're reading it. They obviously know. They're like, "Oh, the game's done." So like they're gonna respond to me. Mm-hmm. So as the person who's waiting behind the screen, like they're judging you literally off of how
you act and how you react.
And the tone too.
Yeah,
tone is a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like the one thing that I really learned from being in a relationship was Liz used to tell me this all the time, and I was a jerk off at first. So I was like, this is fucking bullshit. But what she said was, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Like, it's all about the tone, because I would be like, I would always joke around with her. You know how, like, I'm very sarcastic. And I'm like, you're a fucking whore. And she would be like,
well,
see, like, that's, like, you can't say it like that.
No,
you know?
Yeah.
So like that was the really big portion, and I'm still working on it a lot because there's definitely I'm definitely not a person who's great at conversation still.
Oh yeah, definitely me too. It's not like the same. Like it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's not like we're perfectionists at this point.
Oh yeah, of course.
But like, do you ever think about it? How we're gonna be in 10 years from now?
Oh my gosh. I never really thought of it like that. That's a really good question. I'm hoping it gets even better.
Because I was thinking about this, and I was like, there are so many people out there that start from absolutely nothing, or they suck at it. And they just get this drive after a while where they get this either this fascination about it, or they become so hungry to get better at it that they're just like, oh, I'm going to practice this
every day.
Yeah, until I'm a fucking maniac at it. Where everyone's like, wow, you're so good at this. And that's kind of where I'm at. I think, like, with this podcast, too, I want to turn this into a source of income. I want this to be my main source of income, honestly. Because when I'm honestly, like, I hate having things at a certain time all the time. Like this, I could schedule. I could do whenever. 8 podcasts in like 3 days. And those 8 podcasts is literally 2 whole months. Obviously, if this thing grows and stuff like that, I'm going to start doing like 2 or 3 times a week. But I can do like a whole day of podcasts, and then the rest of the 6 days out of that week, I'm just like, I could just chill and shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you could just take breaks whenever you want with it. So like, yeah, it's cool. It's cool like that.
Yeah, no, it's nice. It's definitely something that I'm even putting this shit on Facebook.
Facebook?
Yeah.
Bro, damn, people still use Facebook?
Yeah, oh my gosh, bro. You know why I did it? Because I saw a commercial of Facebook groups.
Oh, yeah, the Super Bowl commercial. Oh my god, yeah, I remember. I didn't like that commercial. I didn't think it was that good.
Well, it definitely
sparked something.
Me.
Yeah, it definitely sparked something.
Because I was like, yo, there's definitely people out there that want to hear this shit. Because this one girl, shout out to you. Her name's Jenna.
Jessica? Oh, no.
Jenna, yeah. Wait, what happened?
I thought it was just
Who?
I thought it was Jessica for some reason.
Who's Jessica?
I don't know. I thought it was one of the girls that was on the other day.
Oh, Jess. Yeah,
Jess.
Shout out to Jess too. She commented on one of my posts with this. But shout out to Jenna, if you're listening, you're dope, because she texted me. She was like, yo, like, I listened to your podcast, the one that you did with your sister's friend, and like I can relate so much to it, and it definitely helped me just like listening to it. Like I'm going, and I never have me time. And I was like, yo, if one person's gonna reach out to me, like there's definitely gonna be like at least another 100 people out there that are gonna reach out to me and say the same thing. So I was like, fuck it. Like, let's go on Facebook. Let's go into the Facebook groups. Like, there's literally groups called Journal Prompts. So I just posted it. And I was like, yo, I got this podcast. Like, take a listen.
Mm-hmm. And that definitely that's what makes you like happy though, right? Seeing how other people react.
Bro, this is the reason why I started this podcast.
Yeah.
Because I've always wanted to teach. but I never wanted to go in the school system. Going to the school system is like a dead-end job. You know, you don't want a job where you run into a brick wall and you're like, all right, this is it.
It's like school all over again. It's literally for the rest of your life.
Yeah, like I hated school. Like I loved learning, but I hated school. That was my problem. I was in between this in these two things. So I was like, you know what? I got to find a way how to share the knowledge that I have, but I don't have knowledge in one subject. That's the hard thing because, you know, either you're a math teacher or you're an English teacher or you do elementary school.
Or like middle school.
Or middle school. Yeah, something like that. So when you're in the situation that you want to reach out to people and spread the knowledge that you have at 20 years old, which is not much.
Yeah.
You know, like I have some knowledge. I listen to a lot of people. I listen to Joe Rogan a lot and I listen to his guests.
Shout out to Joe Rogan.
Shout out to freaking Joe Rogan.
Shout out to Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I'll be on his podcast one day.
I want to see it. Joe Rogan, get it done. Joe Rogan.
I hope so. That would be cool. But yeah,
that would be
like
awesome.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I dream about that shit all the time. I'm like playing the conversation in my head. I'm like, wow, you know, like if I was on Joe Rogan's podcast, I'd be asking him so many questions because he never talks about himself.
Yeah, he's just always talking about the other person.
He's always and that's something that back to the conversation shit. Mm-hmm. This is something that I noticed a lot, and I've read a lot about. If you interact with the other person by asking them questions about their life, your conversation is going to be a lot better.
Yeah.
Just because people love to talk about themselves.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, you ever noticed that?
Yeah, definitely. I've definitely seen that a bunch. Going to St. John's liberal school, I've seen that shit done. Everyone loves to talk about themselves, you know? But
yeah. It's a weird thing that people love to talk about themselves and talk about what they're doing in their life. So when you're talking to someone and both of you guys want to basically talk about yourself, conversation's going nowhere.
Yeah, but what happens when it's like they both want to talk about each other, and it's just like
I've been in that situation before. Mm-hmm. I've definitely been in that situation where I'm like, all right, like I'm asking them questions, but they keep asking me questions. And
so what do you do? Like, what do you do in that situation?
I don't know. Honestly, like I don't know what I did. What would you do?
Oh, I asked myself a very, very good question. I think it was gonna come back to be honest, I didn't know.
It's a boomerang.
Yeah. I think I would just bring up something that we both relate to, or what we both like, in a sense, to where it goes from both.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the only way, to be honest.
That's actually a really good point. It's hard to steer a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
That's the hard part. Like steering into something that they both like.
You gotta know the person, really. You gotta know the person.
Yeah, and now it comes back to asking about their life.
Yeah.
And it's hard. And it's especially hard when, you know, you're meeting a person for the first time. Even when you know them.
Yeah.
Even when you know them, that's probably the harder part. Because when you know a lot about them, you most likely forgot most things that they said. Because, you know, you don't really care.
You don't really. You just don't really.
Like, most of the people that you talk to,
you're just listening. You're not really remembering it.
You're not remembering.
It's like 21, 20 years old. When am I going to remember, you know?
Yeah, like, I have so much to remember. Like, you think I'm going to remember this conversation with you?
That I had, like 3 or 4 months ago?
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing that.
My sister's amazing at this shit. At fucking talking about the other person and remembering stuff. Like, this is why I told her she's gonna be so good at whatever she does. Like, she's going to yoga and doing all that shit, and she's gonna be so good at this shit just because she cares so much about other people. I was like just observing her one day, and I'm like, I've never had this much interest in anybody in my life. And this person just came to her yoga class, and this is like a normal conversation for her. Mm-hmm. She's just strictly just asking them questions, and then, you know, when they come back 3 weeks later, they're like, oh my gosh, how's your younger brother doing? Do you have more pictures? And then, like, you know, it's just something that she naturally has that I'm just so jealous of.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, we definitely need people like that in our society.
Yeah.
Because if we don't have those people, then you're not
You
gonna.
can't learn.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't learn from that, and from like us, you know. We
Mhm.
can only learn from. You can learn from yourself. That's probably one of the biggest things.
It's probably the strongest way. One of the strongest, not the strongest. It's like one of the strongest ways.
Yeah,
to
like
learn.
top 5.
Yeah, top 5. No, top 3, but.
Hey, my name's Stephen A. Smith. This is my top 5. My top 5 ranking for basketball players.
Stephen A. Oh my
Fucking,
god.
I hate Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, he's annoying. I don't like him either.
Bro, he just talks out of his ass. Like, he's entertaining as fuck. But like most of the shit that he says, you're like, what? Like, do you even watch this? Like,
I honestly don't think they do. I don't think they do, because half the shit they say, it's just bullshit.
yeah, because they're commenting on literally every single team in baseball, basketball, and football.
They know. They
It's
gotta know.
impossible to know all the players, how they act, how the organization is, how everything is within the organization. Like, dude.
Yeah.
But he is a very entertaining guy, and he's definitely somebody.
Watch him.
He's definitely somebody who could hold a conversation.
Oh, 100%.
100%, yeah. Wait, so what do we do? Why should we? So how should you go about this? Like, what's something that you want to get out of your comfort zone with? Not speaking to people and stuff like that, but something else.
That's a good question. Something I would do to get out of my comfort zone for something.
Let's spark some ideas instead of giving the people a nice silent treatment.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Let's go. What's going on in your life? All right, you're graduating soon.
Yeah.
So obviously you're gonna have to go for interviews and shit like that.
Interviews.
Yeah, interviews. That's something that's different from a conversation.
Yeah, it's definitely that's nerve wracking. Very nerve wracking. Definitely want to get better. At those.
I'm honestly mad good at interviews.
Yeah, because you do the podcast.
No, not even this.
Like,
before I had
before
the podcast.
doing it.
Yeah, because this is the same exact thing. Remember those dialogues we had to do for what are you in Italian?
Italian, yes.
I was in Spanish.
Oh man.
So we had the same thing. We had to go up and do a dialogue. Bro, everyone was so nervous. I was like, yo, you got to know 4 lines. And the first and the fourth line is hola and adios.
Eon.
So this is the same thing. People are so nervous going to interviews. Why?
It's because it's like they think it's like a life, like not like a life or death situation, but like if you don't perform in the interview, you're gonna get scared. Like, can I get another? Am I gonna get another interview? Am I gonna do the same thing? Am I gonna choke? Am I gonna be scared again to do another one?
Yeah, but guess what? You're talking about yourself.
Yeah.
That's how I go into it. I'm like, I can't get anything wrong.
Wow, wait. That's interesting.
Yeah, if you go into it saying like, oh shit, I know everything about myself. Now, am I going to answer everything perfect? Probably not. But I'm going to most likely 90% of the time talk how I would talk to a normal person, just in a more interview way.
No, definitely.
I find interviews very weird because like this is more, even though it's like some of the questions that I say are like interviewee, it's a whole conversation.
Yeah.
But interviews are like, Matthew Cipriani, here on your resume, says you went to 4 years of college, so out of those 4 years, what are 3 traits in yourself that you see that are awesome that will bring this company
upwards,
yeah. And you're like, I don't fucking know, like what do you mean by traits? It's a really weird question.
Yeah, they look to see how you would interact with their other people that are working in a company,
like the other employees.
The other employees, they see how you would fit, and that's they usually ask you questions like that way.
Yeah,
to like interact with them.
If you are in that situation of getting asked like what the best traits are, you could obviously lie, and you're obviously not talking to the other employees.
It's not like you're under oath.
Yeah, you're not under oath. Like, so this annoys the shit out of me. When I was creating my resume in college, the professor said, you want to expand the truth when you are putting things down on your resume. Meaning, all right, I'm a cashier, but instead of that, I'm going to say I'm a salesman. Bro, I worked in a fucking liquor store. I'm not a salesman.
But technically you are.
Yeah, but like, am I really like, oh, this bottle of wine?
This bottle is amazing. You got to buy it.
It's like my taste buds were literally going crazy. And like, I'm not saying that shit.
No.
But they make you say that stuff. So that's what I don't like about interviews, because it's a whole perception of you that's not you.
Yeah, it's not true. It's not really true.
No, it's not true at all.
Yeah.
It's horrible. Yeah, that's what I don't like about interviews. And this is what I like about this, because even when we're talking, I could ask you a crazy question and you're just like, oh shit, like I don't know. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Like I just asked you the question. Like I'll give you some time to answer. Most of these interviews, they're just straight up looking at the person. They're like, all right, if you don't answer in 3 seconds, this is going to become really awkward and you're probably not going to get this job.
Yeah. Yeah, and even if they don't even look for the answer you're gonna say, it's still not good for them, because like they're not if you don't find your certain answer that they're looking for, you're not gonna get the job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They look for a specific type of answer, and if you don't fit the description, then they just say bye Felicia. And you're not getting it. Like you're not gonna get it. They're not gonna call you back. They're not gonna do anything.
Yeah. Wow. That's I was not expecting to say bye, Felicia.
That's my favorite term, by the way.
Matthew Cipriani, what is your favorite term from college? What from computer science did you learn that was your favorite term? Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia. Oh my god.
Yo, are you excited?
Oh yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to get out of. I can't wait to graduate
from school.
Finally, yeah.
Bro, it must be so fucking annoying.
Going to school every day. Well, not this semester, but yeah, it's definitely gonna be. It's gonna be interesting. I'm excited to see what's gonna happen after I graduate.
When do you exactly graduate?
May.
Oh shit! So this is your last.
Yeah,
semester.
This is last semester.
Wow.
Yeah,
oh
it's
my
crazy,
God, bro.
This shit's gone so fast. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Every day it's been going by. Like,
do you feel
quick.
prepared for the real world?
I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready for it.
You think college actually prepared you?
No. I'm not gonna lie. Some stuff maybe, but it's like you can't teach everything to where it's gonna prepare you for everything for the real world.
Well, not even that. Like, it's not teaching everything. It's more of like actually being prepared. Like, I'm gonna go out into the real world, and I'm gonna know how to figure out when I need to get a job, when I need to get an apartment, when I need to get a car and shit like that. Like, obviously they're not teaching you that stuff, but do you feel like you have the confidence at this point?
I don't know. I don't think college really. They didn't really like say much about that, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was definitely just learning from like your parents, and it's definitely more beneficial if you learn.
So this
from
is
that.
your next comfort zone thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's going out, getting. Obviously, you need to get a job first and shit like that. Like, you're still gonna live at home, but at some point, like your brother
have to move out.
Your brothers still live at home?
Yeah, my brothers still do.
Oh, so you're chilling. So like, what's Mikey? How old is he?
Mikey's 25, 26. He's gonna turn. I think he turns 26 in May.
Okay. What does he do?
He does the plumbing. He's in the plumbing union.
Oh shit. Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. When did he get in? Because you have to go through like 4 years of school for that, right?
Yeah, he's still doing it. He's still doing the school.
Oh, damn.
But he's almost done with it. Actually, he's almost done with the school. When is he? Yeah, I think I got a couple months left.
That's good.
Then,
it's a grind.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Because you got to go to 40 hours a week of school, right? And then you have to work some hours.
I don't know about that. I don't.
Because I was looking into
sure about.
Yeah, go ahead.
Exactly, but I know they had to go to class. They had to take tests all the time. Like, like school. It's like
Yeah.
school all over again.
Yeah, because when I was looking into the electrician union, it said like you gotta go to school for like this amount of time a day, and then you have to put a few extra hours in for like outside stuff. And I'm like, wow, this sounds horrible. Like, yeah, it was mad funny because my neighbor knows like how I went to school and then I had no idea what I want to do. So he's in the electrician union, and he's like, hey, like try it out. Like, it's not the greatest job in the world. Like, you
But it's
see
something,
me,
you know?
yeah,
It's
it's something. Like, he's like, you see me, I'm up at fucking 4 a.m. I'm leaving the house at 5. You know, I got to go into the city. Like, it's brutal, but you know, it's always a good
income.
it's a good thing to have backup plan wise, and like if you're actually really interested in it, like it's a great opportunity. So I looked into it, you know, filled out the form and shit to get the application, and I paid like $12 at the post office that I regret spending. It's so fucking stupid. Like, I could get a stamp for anything else, but I have to mail this to a certain location, $12.50. All right, whatever, bro. So I had to send it to wherever I had to send it to, and then I finally got the form to actually put out my application. And I was like, you know what? I have absolutely no interest in this, and I just threw it out. I was like, this is horrible. Like, I cannot see myself doing this, and that's another dead end job.
Yeah.
It's horrible. You don't want to be in something where you can't get more creative, that you can't rank up. Like, the whole idea of ranking up is a horrible way of looking at life, because when you think of ranking up, you think of climbing like a corporate ladder. You don't want to do that. You don't want to climb a corporate ladder. What you want to do is build something up where it has momentum, and you're just like, oh my god, okay, this is about to just pop off. Like, I don't know where I'm gonna go with this, but this shit's gonna
go somewhere.
Yeah, this shit's gonna be crazy. And like, that's kind of where I'm going into. Like, you might as well do something with really high potential instead of taking the safe route, because like everyone wants to be a millionaire, but no one wants.
You can't.
Not
everyone's gonna be.
Yeah, no, not everyone's gonna be. But the reason why is because they're doing jobs that you can't become a millionaire with. Like, to live a millionaire life, you either have to own a business, or you have to create something, or you have to go down a path where there's literally no source of income, and you have to create it and start that whole movement. So like, that's another thing, going outside of your comfort zone. Like, that's amazing because my goal is to, in the future, you know, help people become more knowledgeable, but also supply jobs for people. I always wanted to create a source of income for other people, and for something that they actually like to do, because I would love if at some point I could get a camera crew in my basement and just be like, yo, record this shit. And then I get editors, and I'm like, yo, edit this shit. And then I get somebody who actually does all of this stuff on here, and I don't have to fucking do it anymore. Mad annoying doing this shit. Not gonna lie.
I can only imagine. It's gotta be tough. Probably takes a lot of hours to do that too.
Yeah, I mean, this doesn't take too long, because I literally I don't go over this at all.
Oh, no, you don't.
No, I don't listen to it. Because listening to yourself,
you heard it here first.
Like, you ever listen to yourself?
Yeah, I have.
Is it weird?
It's it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, imagine listening to an hour.
Oh, damn, that's rough.
Yeah, because like,
I would cringe, honestly. I would cringe if I listened to myself for an hour.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah.
It's definitely not fun.
You know, like, it's like, you don't really like hearing your own voice, you know?
Yeah, isn't that weird? Like, you like hearing stuff about you, but when you hear your voice, you're like, this is fucking weird, man.
Yeah. It's like, that's what I sound like? Okay.
Yeah, it's weird, because like, your perception of what you hear is not what other people hear.
Oh, wow. Wait. Interesting.
Yeah, because like, you hear something just a little bit different. Oh, I was talking about this the other day with somebody. Everything in life is different. Like, this right here, this is my phone, obviously. This color is black. This black might be different from your black, but we both agree
that's black.
Yeah.
Oh. And same thing with like people that are colorblind too. Like, they can't see certain colors. So like, you see, oh, this is a certain color, but oh wow, I see this as something else.
But this is something that like, people who can see color can also have disagreements with.
Yeah, because they can't, and then there's miscommunication with them too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really strange. It's very interesting to identify. This is like I like talking about this type of shit because this is like the little things in life
That no one talks about.
Yeah, that no one talks about. That like when you think of a deep question, like doesn't it spark your mind to like
To think about what you're gonna say and just
just to think about anything. Like it makes you more creative, I feel like.
it kind of makes you smarter too if you think about it.
Yeah. Definitely does make you a lot smarter after a while because you're thinking about things that you normally don't think about. That's why I love shrooms.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah. I love shrooms. The reason why is because it connects different brain waves in your actual brain that doesn't normally connect when you're sober or when you have any other type of drug. Like when you have, say, like any type of form of psychedelics. I like mushrooms a lot just because that's the only thing I've tried. Basically, I've tried acid, but I think mushrooms is great just because I think about shit and it relieves my anxiety and stuff like that. Like, there's fucking studies where PTSD is eliminated from your mind from like psychedelics and shit. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. But like, if you think about it that way, it's like there's like a level to where you can reach without. Even if you wanted to stop doing shrooms, you know what I'm saying? If you wanted to stop, you could always look up and be like, "Oh, I want to get there without, doing them."
Yeah.
So like there could be like what's it called? A reaching point for you to reach for, and then even if you want to do more of it, like afterwards,
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like after you do them, you can like kind of tap into this mindset of like, oh, I can definitely be creative. I just have to really focus in. And like the mind is a powerful thing, man. The mind is super powerful where you can trick your brain. Like we're wired in a specific way. Like for example, when we're growing up, our parents tell us certain things. Say they're like, this food is bad for you. So your taste buds naturally are not going to want that. Your mind isn't going to want that, and your body's not going to process it how it's going to be because your parents are like, that's not good for you. Don't eat that. And then as you get older and you look up all these nutrition facts about the actual food itself, you're like, wait a second. This is good for me. This isn't bad. And then like as you understand this, your mind is connected to your body. So right from there, it's just like a snap of a finger. Your body's like, oh shit, so if we take this in right now, this is most likely going to be good for us.
Yeah.
So yeah, the mind to body connection is crazy. Do you meditate?
No, I never meditated before.
You should try.
Should I? I should try.
Yeah, meditation, it's hard as fuck, but it's a very easy concept.
Also, another thing,
yeah,
I definitely want to get into more of eating the food, like you were saying before, like the foods that you don't think that are good are gonna be good, because my diet's been completely awful. It's not good. I don't recommend it. Definitely don't recommend it.
I definitely don't recommend the Matty Sip diet.
No, sir. No. But no. If it's all serious, though, I definitely want to eat better. I want to lose. I want to lose the weight. I just have to start.
You know what's a really good thing to do? Write it down.
Write it down and then
write it down, because every day. So the whole thing is just being consistent. It's not hard being consistent, but
it's all the temptations.
It's all temptations, but it's easy in a sense. If you are every day forming a habit of looking at whatever, say it's your phone, say it's like a notepad, you're looking at that notepad and you're like, okay, I have to write down what I ate today, what I learned about eating, and if I ate anything bad, I have to write it down and make sure that I know that I'm doing something wrong. And after a while, you're going to be like, okay, so I only ate one donut tonight. That's not bad. And then by the end of the week, you're like, okay, I had a cookie. And then that next week, you're like, okay, do I really want to write that down? Do I really want to look at it? And you have to hold yourself accountable So that's probably the best way to do it. I would suggest writing everything down, like all of your meals and stuff like that. Why you thought that was good to eat.
I gotta learn how to cook too.
Cooking's mad easy, bro.
I really gotta learn. I really gotta learn how to start cooking.
There's like
chicken and the. I always think it's gonna be. When I cook, I always think it's gonna be raw. So I don't know when to take it out. And then.
Oh, it's mad easy. Literally, like you just cut it, and you just stick your finger in the middle.
That's it.
That's all I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I like, obviously with chicken, any white meats, you know, you don't want it being pink inside. You want it actually like, if the breast is white, you want the inside to be white as well. So like that's how you know too. Like you just cut it open. Like you could stick your finger in there. It might be hot, but if it's hot and it's pink, then you want it to leave it in there just a little bit longer until it's actually white. A little pink's not bad. Like you're not gonna die.
You're not gonna get
we fucking used to eat animals raw.
Raw. It's fucking raw. Where's the lamb sauce? You fucking donkey.
You fucking donkey.
Gordon Ramsay, greatest of all time. Don't at me, please. Don't at me. Gordon Ramsay.
Don't
Go, greatest of all time.
Yo, he's mad funny.
Oh my gosh.
But it's true. Like we used to eat shit raw all the time.
Yeah.
So like, if we really eat something raw right now, it's not going to be the end of the world. You're not going to die. Yeah. But it's better to be cooked because nutritionally, that's how our brains kind of grew a lot because hot food put into your body, it makes everything. I don't know the exact science. Don't quote me on this shit. But I'm pretty sure when you have hot food, when you cook meat and shit like that and your vegetables, you extract more nutrients out of it.
We definitely need Bill Nye to
Bill Nye, the fake scientist.
The fake scientist.
Hey, my name's Bill Nye, and I'm gonna make videos for little kids.
I can't believe that guy. He got rich off that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. It's interesting, very interesting how he did that. But hey, man, like you could do anything. You just don't put limitations on yourself.
Put your mind to it. You put your mind on anything, you can get it done. You know.
And you can get out of your comfort zone too.
Yes, sir. Of course.
I feel like we were off track with this actual question. Let's go back to how and why should you explore your comfort zone? How should you? That's something we really didn't touch upon yet.
I mean, I thought I said something before about it with the just throwing yourself in there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, just kind of throwing yourself in there, but it's also the writing thing works too. Because, if you're, like, that's the thing. You gotta hold yourself accountable. Because there are some things that you can just be like, I'm going to throw myself in there.
And not do it.
But no, more of like, I can throw myself in there and I'm kind of forced to do it because I have no choice. Like a job. Like, okay, I'm going to try out this job. And obviously I'm going to show up every day. So I'm going to see if I can prove myself to my boss if I'm good enough or not. But then there are other things like, for example, you started streaming. You have to hold yourself accountable for actually doing streams every single week at the same exact time. So, when you're going out of your comfort zone, just write it down. I'm good at that shit where I don't have to write it down because I have it in the back of my mind. I'm like, by the end of the night, if I didn't do it, I'm like, oh my God, I didn't do this shit today. I'm really mad at myself.
That's something I got to start doing too. I definitely got to start writing stuff down to where I have to do it. If I write it down, then I'm doing it. I gotta do it.
Yeah, that's the best thing to do.
I never really thought about doing it that way, in a sense.
Yeah, just write it down and then see where it takes you because, it's just a good strategy because you're the only person that can really hold yourself accountable. Like I could text you every day, like, how'd you eat today, whatever. And then you could just be like, oh, you know what? I don't give a fuck. And then just not answer me after a while. But if you really want to do it, because, think about it. Like, you don't want to be that guy who's 37, who's, I don't know, fucking 350 pounds, where you're like, oh, shit, like, at 21, I could have definitely changed up my diet. Because it takes a long time to get that heavy. I mean, it's 14 years later, 15 years later, whatever it is, whatever age I said. Say it's 15 years later, it compounds after a while. Like the combination of not exercising, the combination of not eating good foods, after a while, it really takes a toll on your body. So
Yeah, it's like someone I know, one of my dad's friends. He got to a weight to where it like he can't walk.
yeah,
He can't walk. He has to sit. He has to sit in his chair all day, and then he gets uh like therapy and stuff to try and lose weight.
yeah, it sucks. Like imagine you had to do that to yourself where you literally can't walk anywhere and you
Yeah.
have like we are a species that used to run
Miles.
hundreds of miles
I
in
remember
like
that. I remember
days.
I remember you sending that to me.
Yeah,
That was
it's
a good
just
video.
so many miles. Like marathons to us should be the easiest thing. We used to run, just to. That's how we kind of form this this tribe society type of thing, and how we actually survived and how we hunted. We all came together and we're like, okay, all of us are puny little fucking humans and we can't kill any of those big ass things. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna outrun them. And obviously they're faster, but what we're gonna do, we're just gonna keep going. And at some point they're gonna rest and they're gonna get tired. And then after a while we're gonna catch up to them, and then as we catch up to them, they're gonna start running again.
And
But then they're gonna get tired
It's
again.
a cycle. It's
It's a cycle. And then after a while, that's why we can, like, if you ever noticed when you are exercising or something like that, you're not always breathing.
yeah.
You could do 10 push-ups right now and you don't have to breathe at all. You could hold your breath. And it's not good to do that, but it's just something that we formed over time where we're like, oh shit, like, if we don't have to breathe every single step of the way, like horses, they're going. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. Like, like they have to do that for every single step of the way, every single hoof, right? That's what it's called. Like
I
their
don't know.
leg, whatever.
I never thought
whatever their foot is called.
I just call it a foot. I don't know what it's called.
Every single time they put their foot down,
On the ground.
we'll call it that. They have to take a breath. So like that's how we as a human race, like we combined being smart together with running. So when you're in that situation where you can't even walk anymore, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's wild. It's like you have no muscle. It's like it's like your
no
weight is
muscle.
like breaking your own bones in a way.
Yeah, after a while, you can't hold up 500 pounds. Your legs can't do that.
Yeah.
We're not even meant
Unless you're
to.
Saquon Barkley. Unless you're Saquon, but no, I'm kidding, obviously.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
yeah.
he could. But that's the thing. Like, even these insane athletes, most of them that are like, the guys who bodybuild and shit like that, they're not even supposed to be like that. Like, our bodies are meant to be lean and strong. We're supposed to actually have a little fat and flab of skin on us to help us during like the cold times and stuff like that, and also a little protection. If we're getting attacked by an animal, you don't want to have like 4% body fat. Who are you fucking impressing?
With
fucking 50,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Like you're getting any pussy that you can at that point. You're just fucking anything. It doesn't matter. There's no showers. Like no one. You can't even.
You got
shave.
lakes. That's it.
Yeah, you're just trying to procreate at that point. But yeah, that's how you get out of that comfort zone. Just pushing it.
So I have a question. I have a question
go
for you. So when you were doing your marathon,
Yeah.
how did you like? I know you used to do like sport. Well, obviously, because I know I've known you for so long, you did all these sports and all like the running and basketball. How did you break your comfort zone to going into like doing a marathon? Because obviously the marathon is not.
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy to where it's just like, oh, I've played basketball for this long. I could run 15, 20 miles, or I don't even know how long. I forgot how long you said the race was. But,
yeah, it's 26.2 miles.
oh, I wasn't even close. I had another 10 miles to add to it. But
yeah, well, I mean, Rory did it.
oh yeah, okay, yeah. Oh, Rory did it?
Rory ran a marathon before me. So
okay.
I asked him so many questions. I was like, yo, how did you feel? Like, how was the run? How long did it take to train? How were you when you were training? And he was like, bro, just fucking run a marathon already. And I was like, yeah, if you could do it, I could probably do it too. And he's like, yeah, you're so much lighter. You're faster. Like, you'll be able to do it and you're in good shape. The The hardest part really was literally just putting shoes on and going outside. That's the hardest part. But it literally, like, once you start running and you're in a zone,
You don't stop.
It's a different type of running. Like, when you start training for something, specifically running, just straight up running, it's a different type of mental aspect that you get. Because, you know, if I'm running 8 miles, I'm running 4 miles one way and 4 miles back. So I'm putting myself, I was really leaving my comfort zone in that point, because I was like, I have to run back. I have no other way. Like, I'm not calling I'm not calling an Uber. I'm not taking a damn bus. I'm not taking the train. Like, I'm getting back, and that's it. And that was the hardest part. There was one day where I ran, it was either 16 or 18 miles. And no, it was 18 miles. I was so scared. I was like, oh my God, this is the craziest fucking thing ever. Because I just ran 16 miles. And, like, there comes a point where you're like, wow, anything after this, even those extra 2 miles, everyone's like, oh, you can't just run another 2 miles. Bro, another 2 miles is a lot in that little time span. Yo, by the 13th mile, I was just like, I don't know if I could even fucking get back at this point. Like, this is going to be the hardest thing ever. So I finished with like an 8:30 pace, something like that, which is still great.
It's good.
But
it's
for
really
me, it wasn't that great, because I did like 16 miles and I had like a 7:30 pace. So then that next week, I had to run 18 again on that Friday.
But you had back to back. You had the back to back. Oh my!
Back to back.
Jesus Christ, Nick!
Yo, it was crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, back to back weeks. And
oh my gosh.
Yo, I fucking murdered it. I had like a 7:27 pace. Like, I was just cruising down Highland, bro. But the best thing about running a marathon is that when you are running and you're on like that 7th or 8th mile and cars are passing you, you're like, you have no idea what the fuck I'm going through right now. You have no idea how hard this is.
It's like, damn.
And you just think I'm going for a run. You think I'm just going for, like, 20, 30 minute run. No, bro, I'm a fucking hour and 30 minutes into this shit. Like, this is hard as fuck. And you're in a car. Like, when I ran 20 miles in one day, I was like, I ran more than most people drove today. Like, that is fucking absurd. Like, if you drove to work and back, you wouldn't have traveled as many miles as I did.
That's crazy, actually, now that I think about that.
Yeah.
Never thought of it in that sense.
Yeah, so, yeah, getting out of my comfort zone and going into that marathon was extremely hard. It was just so draining, because I didn't miss one day of training.
Yeah, dedication, time.
Not one day. You know why?
Put the time in.
Because I knew. I was like, if I'm going to do this shit, I want to be as prepared as possible by the time the race comes. And I was. I was so fucking prepared for that race. I knew it that day. I was like, I'm going to kill this shit. Like, I have no doubt in my mind. And to have confidence, going from the fake confidence to the actual confidence, it was extremely hard. In anything in my life to go full confidence. And Rory's aunt was there, and she's like, oh, who is the one who's trying to run the 7 and change mile for this whole thing? And I was like, I am. And she's like, that's gonna be tough. And I was like, it's gonna be okay, I'll be able to do it.
I definitely think I think that first marathon the week before definitely would have helped you in that sense, because then you got you in mindset like, I'm not scared anymore. Like, I know I could do it. I did it last week. I know I could do it. Now I gotta try and beat it.
I didn't even run a full marathon before I ran my first marathon. I only ran 20 miles. The marathon's 26.2. So I was really in a spot where I was like,
damn, I gotta run another 6 miles.
I was like, oh my God, this is so crazy. Like, I was dying at the end.
Think about it though. How far? Manhattan's like 7 miles. How far
from here?
Yeah, from like Staten
Not that long.
What is it, like 7 miles around maybe?
Yeah, it's to go to Manhattan. I know Brooklyn is like 12 miles or something like that from here.
Think about it. You went from Staten Island ran all the
New
way.
York City Marathon. You know, you start.
Oh, it was. Oh, okay.
I think you start in Staten Island and you go through all 5 boroughs. So
That's dope.
yeah, I definitely want to run another one, but my foot's been like acting up and shit from the fucking rock climbing thing. Remember that? Remember that day?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, bro, it's so annoying. Like, I wish I never fucking jumped from that thing. I'm so pissed because I had so much momentum with running, and then that stopped me. Like, I was running like a fucking 6:45 pace for 6 miles, easy. Just on a random day, I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna run 6 miles, easy. Barely was breathing heavy, and I was like, wow, man, like if I ran another marathon, if I trained for another marathon for like, it took, I think it was 5 months in total to train for the marathon. I was like, yo, I could do a fucking 3-month training right now for another marathon. I would easily get under 3 hours, no problem. And then I fucked up my foot, so I couldn't do it anymore. And it sucks because now I definitely lost a lot of that momentum, of that speed. But hey, man, like,
you always get back in. You
yeah,
could always get back there.
I'm only 20.
Yeah, exactly.
21, so yeah.
It's not like you're not exercising every day.
Yeah, exactly.
Check out Nikki Resistance.
Thanks for the shout out.
I got you, no problem.
It's not like I post this on here.
Yeah, it's true. But still, shout out to Nikki Resistance.
Thank you. Well, it's been, how long do you think it's been?
Oh,
another tough question.
Shit, I don't even know. It's gone by quick though, and that's what I'm gonna say. I have no idea actually.
Take a guess. Random number.
Has it been an hour?
Yeah, literally just got to an hour.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my god, let's go.
Yeah.
I didn't. Let's go. Actually, I didn't realize. But
yeah, it's
that's
been
actually
a
good
whole
guess.
hour. That's kind of the cutoff time here because I'm only allowed 4 hours a month because I'm on the cheapest plan. But once I get more followers and stuff like that, I want to upload 2 podcasts a week at some point. It'll be mad fun. I'll be fucking talking, just improving my skills of speaking. We'll have you on again.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll definitely be on again.
Yeah.
Unless you want me to. I mean, if you want me to.
Well, I mean, I just said it. So
I know.
And next time you'll definitely be more comfortable. Like I saw at the end, like you started finally getting better at it, and like this is definitely outside of my comfort zone. It's definitely outside of your comfort zone. Putting a mic in front of your face is different than not having a mic in front of your face. We could take 5 minutes in between each conversation when we're just hanging out, but when it's just us face to face, and this is going on the internet forever,
never leaving.
Not forever. Just if I cancel my fucking subscription for the place I upload it, they
still
take
be
it
on
off.
Instagram,
but it's still gonna be online and shit. Like it gives you nerves. Like it definitely does. But hey, man, like you got to get outside that comfort zone. Like it pushes you and it makes you a better and different person.
Makes you stronger too.
Exactly. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Matty Sip.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. And we'll see you guys later. Thanks for listening.
Peace.